Hey guys, so I've had a few friends asking me that haven't actually bit the bullet and bought Call of Duty yet, a little bit about the Create a Class system. Now I don't have everything unlocked. I'm higher up in the Prestige. It goes to max 55, so I'm doing pretty good for it only being out for a couple of days now. I've actually got a gold MP7, and I'll have another video up for you guys if you're interested in seeing that first gameplay after unlocking that. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Basically, people are confused about the 10-point system. A lot of people are trying to hone it into the standard Call of Duty way that the perk systems worked in the past. And what I keep trying to get around their head is that you just need to not think in terms of the way the old system worked. The old system, you had your perk 1, you had perk 2, you had your perk 3. Most of them you had to have some sort of pro variation by using them. I haven't actually noticed any progression unlock for each of the individual perks yet, but you know, at the same time the menu's a little deep, and at this point I'm just really going balls deep and trying to unlock and have some fun with this game before I start doing the prestige grind. So I haven't really spent a whole lot of time digging into the challenges, but I haven't really seen anything where you get pro'd any perks, and I really don't think you do actually get perks, but you do notice that a lot of the old perks that used to be combined are kind of spread out across the different perk classes. But anyways, that's enough about perks, and let's dig into the custom class. So here's an example of what I'm actually running with my MP7 when I unlock the gold. As you can see, it's actually fairly close to what you would consider a regular way a custom class is laid out, where you've got your perk 1, your perk 2, and your perk 3, which in this case is Flak Jacket, Cold-Blooded, and Engineer. But the thing that you'll notice down the bottom there is I have a primary gunfire wildcard, and what that does is it takes away a point for me to be able to add a third attachment to my gun, in which this case is the quick draw handle. It's got a lot of different wildcards in here, and let me just dig into this class a little bit here. So you can have up to 3 total wildcards. And the thing I keep trying to tell everyone is you just have 10 points. Like, you don't have to run perks. You don't have to run, you know, your lethal or your tactical or your secondary or any of that. You know, I've got a couple of classes here where, like, for this crossbow class, I don't have a primary. And I've got, you know, 2 perk 2s because I'm using a perk 2 greed and a perk 3 greed, which both take a point, and then the additional point for the second perk. But I mean, you really don't have to use perks, because I unlocked 100 headshots with the MP7, and one of the challenges is you have to run the gun without any attachments, and then the other challenge is running without any perks. I have found that wildcards don't count towards that, so I was running with basically no perks, just a couple of wildcards to get some extra lethal and tactical grenades, and then actually put overkill on, and I had the the battle shield on my back to try and, you know, give me that extra couple seconds of hopefully getting a kill, just because I was running pretty much bare. So let me just clear out this class here. So as you can see on the top of the screen there, you've got your 10 orange markers, and every time you select something, it takes away one of those orange blocks. So you could run, you know, a primary, no perk 1, maybe you want to do 2 perk 2s. So you got Cold-Blooded and Fast Hands, so you can whip out some tomahawks, or combat axe. Sorry, they changed it this time around. Maybe you want to use shock charge, but maybe you don't want 2 shock charges. Every one of these squares costs a point, and every one of these wild cards costs a point. And the thing to keep in mind is when you use the wild card, you still have to use another point to select the perk. So like as you see, I have this perk 2 greed, and then I had to actually pay another perk in order to put Fast Hands on here. So it's really kind of interesting, and there's a lot of crazy stuff to cook up. And I mean, there's been times where I haven't run a third perk just so I can have 2 perk 1 perks, or, you know, not run a second perk because I wanted 2 1 perks and 2 3 perks. And it's just a very deep, interesting system, and I'm really looking forward to messing around with this as I get farther and farther along in the Prestige. But for right now, I'm pretty much keeping it simple and keeping it pretty primary weapon intensive, predominantly with the MP7, just because I was having a lot of fun playing with it, and unlocked a lot of the challenges right off the bat. So then I just figured, what the hell, I might as well close it out while I'm in the neighborhood, so to speak. So yeah, you know, and I have noticed that there's attachments for the secondary, and there's actually a secondary gunfighter, kind of like the primary gunfighter, where you can do 2 attachments. I suppose I should probably show everyone these since they don't really know. You know, you got your perk 1 greed, your perk 2 greed, your perk 3 greed, which each give you an extra perk for those particular slots. Overkill is just like the overkill of your, where you get 2 primary weapons. You got your secondary gunfire, which gives you 2 attachments for your second weapon. Primary gunfire gives you a 3rd attachment for your primary weapon. Tactician lets you take a tactical grenade in place of your lethals, so you could probably run quite a few lethals. And then danger close. And the one thing to note, when you have danger close or tactician on, you can't run the other. So you can't have 4 tactical grenades. Which I was a little bummed out about, because I was kind of excited to try that out. But because these shocks and charges are really helpful for objective game types. So anyways, that's a quick rundown. And one thing to note, pretty much everything in the game now has camo. So hit Y on everything you set up, because there's probably camo for it. I've noticed that the riot shield has camo, secondary pistols have camo, the rocket launchers have camo, your knife even has camo. I haven't really worked on unlocking any camo for the knife just yet, just because I don't like running around stabbing people like that. And to be completely honest, my muscle memory is off of Halo 4 from last week, so I keep hitting the freaking grenade button instead of stabbing people. But you know, that'll be an adjustment that'll correct itself sooner or later. So yeah, hopefully that helps clear out some of the confusion people are having, at least with my friends. And hopefully you like the video. So we'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.